So here's what's allegedly going down behind the scenes of Disney's Snow White. And yeah, it's a mess. Just before the digital promo content was supposed to be filmed, you know, the classic cozy cast commentary that usually gets tossed onto the bonus features, tensions between Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot allegedly boiled over. Disney had planned a 2-hour sit-down with Rachel, Gal, and Andrew Burnap, who plays Jonathan, where they'd talk about filming, share behind-the-scenes stories, and pretend this movie wasn't a complete PR disaster. But according to insiders, it never even got off the ground, because things got ugly. Fast. Sources say that during pre-taping, Rachel refused to proceed unless Gal agreed not to speak about her public support for Israel, something Gal has been open about in interviews and at red carpet events. Rachel allegedly told producers she didn't want any political distractions tied to the promo, especially with the movie already getting roasted online. Gal wasn't having it. One source claims Gal flat out screamed at Rachel on set, allegedly in front of the entire crew, telling her to stay out of her personal beliefs and mind her own business. Another insider described the vibe in the room as deeply uncomfortable. By the end of it, Disney reportedly had to escort Rachel off set, and the whole commentary session completely canceled. Now, none of this is officially confirmed by Disney, but let's just say the timing is suspicious. The digital release came and went with zero commentary, no bonus footage, no cast roundtable. Just the movie. No explanation, no follow-up. And what's worse? According to reports, Disney tried to pivot. There was internal talk about doing the commentary with just Rachel and Andrew instead, cutting Gal entirely. But allegedly, Bob Iger himself shut that idea down, saying it would be way too obvious and only confirm the rumors about the feud. And honestly, he's not wrong, but the drama doesn't stop there. Insiders also claim Rachel was being extremely difficult about what the commentary would include. She allegedly insisted it focus more on her singing, her scenes, her behind-the-scenes secrets, and wasn't thrilled that Gal was being given more screen time and talking points for the session. Gal allegedly clapped back, calling Rachel impossible to work with, and said it was basically a joke to imagine the two of them sitting together for 2 hours pretending everything was fine. And here's the kicker. Gal was reportedly willing to squash the beef. According to one source, she tried to move on and keep things professional. But Rachel allegedly refused. She was said to be so disgusted by Gal's political stance that she wanted nothing to do with her, on camera or off. And let's not forget, Rachel has a history here. She's been openly political in interviews before. There's even that viral clip where she flat out says, "If you don't believe in my politics, unfollow me." That kind of energy might fly on Twitter, but when you're the face of a multi-million-dollar Disney film, it's not the move. Look, everyone's entitled to their beliefs, but when your personal opinions start tanking your professional image, alienating co-stars, and blowing up press tours, you're not just stirring the pot anymore, you're throwing the whole kitchen in. And honestly, at this point, it's hard not to feel like Rachel Zegler is sabotaging her own film. Whether it's intentional or just ego run wild, the off-screen drama is doing more damage than the CGI ever could. And that's saying something. So let's be real. The Gal and Rachel feud was just the tip of the iceberg. The commentary meltdown? That wasn't even the main reason it never happened. According to insiders, the other reason was that Disney was still knee-deep in reshoots and last-minute edits trying to salvage the movie. Allegedly, they were scrambling behind the scenes well into post-production, making desperate tweaks in hopes of softening the inevitable backlash. And when I say inevitable, I mean fans and non-fans alike were already sharpening their pitchforks before this thing hit theaters. Online forums, roasting it. YouTubers, dismantling it frame by frame. TikTok, ruthless. And mainstream media, at this point, they've stopped asking, "Why did this happen?" and switched to, "Can Disney even recover from this?" And here's where we just have to say it plainly. Agenda or not, message or not, this is a bad movie. Full stop. Put the political arguments in a box, tape it shut, and just look at the movie as a movie. The acting, flat. The visuals, inconsistent. The CGI weirdly beige and unfinished. And the ending? Oh, we'll get into that, because wow. It was so awkward and tonally off that it felt like the writers had given up halfway through the script and hit generate ending in AI. Disney wanted this to be a fresh, empowering retelling of a legacy classic. What they ended up with was a film so disconnected from its roots and so mismanaged behind the scenes, it almost feels like they were trying to tank it. And the worst part, they're still trying to water down the backlash. Quiet press releases, soft PR pivots, minimal interviews. It's the corporate equivalent of sticking your fingers in your ears while the internet screams at you. Let's be honest, a lot of what fueled the Snow White backlash wasn't just the bad movie. A huge part of it was Rachel Zegler's political commentary throughout. Let's start with the tweet that's still haunting her. May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace. Yeah, that one. It resurfaced just days after the film's disastrous premiere, and it blew up fast. Fans, critics, and even people who hadn't planned on watching the movie in the first place started calling for boycotts because of who she was off-screen. The timing couldn't have been worse. Disney had already positioned this remake as a progressive reimagining, and now the lead actress was on record wishing ill will on half the country. And when people called her out, she didn't apologize. She doubled down. Behind the scenes, Rachel allegedly clashed with Gal Gadot over Gal's open support for Israel. Multiple sources claim Rachel tried to shut down any mention of Gal's political views during press tours, and even refused to film promotional commentary unless Gal stayed silent. That fight reportedly turned into a full-blown screaming match on set, with Disney producers forced to step in and shut the whole thing down. The planned cozy behind-the-scenes cast commentary was scrapped, and neither actress has said a word publicly about it. Now, for context, Gal Gadot served in the Israeli military and has always been vocal about supporting her country, especially during moments of international conflict. Rachel, on the other hand, has been more aligned with pro-Palestinian activist rhetoric and has liked or reposted content supporting that side of the political divide, although she's never made a clear public statement. That tension allegedly boiled over during promo, and it didn't stop there. In a recent Instagram Live, after the movie bombed, Rachel said, "There are people who will always have a problem with a woman who knows her worth. That's not my problem." Okay, sure, but it's not just about knowing your worth, it's about reading the room. Fans weren't upset about confidence. They were upset about the arrogance, the political lectures, the weird dismissal of the original movie, and the way she alienated massive swaths of the audience without blinking. It didn't help that Disney stayed silent through all of this, hoping it would blow over while their lead actress was out here throwing gasoline on the fire. So yeah, when the movie flopped, it wasn't just about bad box office numbers. It was the perfect storm. Political tension, off-putting interviews, public feuds, and a film that was already skating on thin ice. Rachel Zegler didn't just play Snow White, she became the face of a controversy. And whether it was fair or self-inflicted, that's how people are going to remember it. As of now, there is no official confirmation that Disney has banned or fired Rachel Zegler. She completed her role in the live-action Snow White remake and participated in its promotional activities. However, reports indicate that Disney has taken steps to manage the controversies surrounding Zegler's public statements. After she expressed support for Palestine and made critical comments about Donald Trump and his supporters, Disney reportedly hired a social media specialist to oversee her online activity leading up to the film's release. So here's where we're at. Snow White was supposed to be a fresh, modern fairy tale. What it turned into was a complete disaster, both on and off the screen. From the awkward visuals to the messy script to the behind-the-scenes feuds, It's clear this wasn't just a box office flop. It was a brand meltdown. Rachel Zegler? She's now more talked about for her off-camera moments than anything she actually did in the film. And Disney? Silent. No statements, no real damage control, just hoping we all forget. But when even Disney diehards start walking away, it's a sign that something's broken. And no amount of magical apples or feminist rewrites can fix it overnight. So is Rachel banned? Not officially. But if Disney's keeping their distance now, honestly, can you blame them? Let this be a reminder. Sometimes the real drama isn't in the movie. It's everything happening around it. And if this is what Disney's new era looks like, yikes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you want more commentary on celebrity chaos, studio drama, and everything Hollywood doesn't want you to know. Drop your thoughts below. Was this just a bad movie or the start of something bigger? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.